Good afternoon from Ottawa. As Kate mentioned, Families Canada launched these discussion forums in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we certainly hope that Let's Talk is helping our family support sector to connect with each other, to share concerns, and importantly, to learn from one another. And today's topic is an important one, financial literacy. It's something that I think is top of mind for all family practitioners, and we appreciate that you're out there daily supporting all types of family members with all types of issues, but financial stress right now is undoubtedly a big one. So joining us today is Claude Massey, who works at EBO Financial Education Center in Ottawa as a personal finance I'm in charge program facilitator. I like that name. She studied leisure in college and worked for Desjardins, which is a co-op, for approximately 10 years. She started as a cashier and she's moved up to a personal finance advisor. So with that, Marie-Claude, it's over to you.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody is safe and healthy. As Kelly mentioned, my name is Marie-Claude and I work for a non-for-profit organization, which is EBO Financial Education Center based in Ottawa. So basically what we do at EBO is helping people with budgeting, income tax, and my part is the best of them, is to meet people and have that chat on financial literacy. So basically we have 17 different subjects that we can use and go through all of Eastern Ontario and discuss. So for today, of course, we won't be able to go through those 17 subjects, but I have a little wrap up and see maybe tips and tricks that we can go through together and see where can we find help as well. So on my part in this pandemic period, we're actually doing good. I'm hoping that everyone joining us is also doing good in spite of everything that's happening. For us, it's been fairly, let's say, like a roller coaster, okay? Life is a roller coaster and unexpected circumstances happens. It can be a pandemic or it can be anything else related to an accident, to a sickness. So basically, I'm trying to also talk about other resources that can be useful throughout the year, not just for this period. As one of my favorite characters said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So in light of this, this favorite character saying, I'd like to encourage you, I'd like to encourage everyone when we have a little financial issue to be proactive about it. Being proactive will be the key. How to be proactive? It's keeping in touch actually with your creditors. Let's say you want to take an arrangement, maybe be sure that you are able to follow through that arrangement. For doing that, please take the time to make your plan, make your budget, and identify any resources available that can help. When we talk about a resource at EBO, we don't mean always a financial resource. The example I always give is that even though I am a mother myself, my mom still bakes me lasagnas and leaves them on my porch. So to me, my mom is a great resource because I can eat comfy food, they say. So I can eat my comfy food and still be able to use the money I could have used for that meal towards another need. So what are other resources that could help? Basically, there are the food banks. I know about in our area, the counties are very proactive with their low-income community, and they have special budgets to help with daycare expenses. So if that's something that you need to look into, because daycares will reopen. I know in Quebec, they're reopening very soon. So if that is an issue for you, even outside of this whole situation, you can definitely go to your municipality, your counties, go to your province website. And of course, there's a few Canada websites that I'll be listing a little bit later on. Also, when making a budget, it's a delicate balance between needs and wants. A need can be a want can become a need. So it's a very thin line. What I'd like to share with you is maybe ask yourself the question to make an informed decision. Do I really need to buy this or to go to the store and buy extra food? If I can give you an example that I'm actually living right now, it's funny, but it's not, with groceries. Before the pandemic, we used to stop by the grocery store maybe 3-4 times a week because we always wanted something, and oh yeah, this could be good tonight, or maybe this could be good. But now with the situation, I started doing my grocery online, the online shopping. Here it's PC Express. And actually I've been saving a lot because no more multiple stops at the grocery store where I can just be enticed to buy more. So to me, that was a very, very, very great situation. So I can actually even take this for future needs or future budgeting tools. So not going too many times at the store for us, for our family, is actually a good thing. Another thing I'd like to share with you is that, let's say you go to work every day and you stop in for a coffee. That's what I used to do. I used to go, and Timmy's was my go-to place every time I was driving off somewhere. And then I realized when I started actually teaching the personal finance I'm in charge program that I'll be introducing in a while, I started thinking, okay, how much do I actually spend in Timmy's coffee yearly? That's where it actually hit me. So I was taking maybe on an average 1 coffee a day, $3, 5 times a week. And at the end of the year, I was spending $780 in Timmy's coffee. That doesn't include food. I didn't include any other restaurant stops. So I chose to be proactive on that particular habit. And I started to make my own coffee leaving the house and having my reusable mug, which is what, maybe $12 a month instead of $780 a year. So that's one of the tricks I like to share, because sometimes we underestimate that $2 or $3 that we give at Starbucks, Timmy's, or even McDonald's. I know they have great coffee now. So that's a little trick. If you'd like to start and look into your different habits, that could be one of them. So any habits we have, we can look into for cheaper options. Of course, we can try anything else. Looking for resources, like I mentioned, in municipalities, counties, your province. In Ontario, we actually have this community service line that you probably know about, the 211 community service line. And I remember when I was living in Quebec, we had something equivalent. So maybe have a look around you to see where you can have all these resources at one place where you can just be referred. So that would be something interesting to look into. We all go obviously through different challenges, and those services are there to help in time of need. So feel free to reach out. I'm pretty sure that in any other situation, or once you're back on your feet at any moment, you'll be the ones also participating and helping out others. So feel free to use those services as you need them. Uh, for for other resources, you can actually go on Prosper Canada. I don't know if it was mentioned in other workshops, but Prosper Canada for financial situation, they have nominated 14 financial empowerment champions across Canada. So we have in Quebec City, in the province of Quebec, they have the ASEF, in French it's ASEF. They are home economics cooperative that can help you with budgeting as well and refer to any other resources if need may be. And of course, in the Ottawa area, you have the EBO Financial Education Center where we can free of charge help you out, look into any situation, budgeting habits that you have that you'd like to go through. And then of course, there are many other ones. If you go on the Prosper Canada website, I've it right here, like in Edmonton, Alberta, there's the E4C that is in partnership also with Bisel Center and Institute for Advancement of Aboriginal Women. In Vancouver, they have Family Services of Greater Vancouver that is a part of those financial empowerment champions. In, again, Calgary, Alberta, in Momentum. In also, we spoke about the SFs in Quebec, and throughout Ontario, like around London, there's Family Service Thames Valley. In Sudbury, there's a Sudbury Community Service Centers. So there are many, many different options around your area if you need help in doing your budget. When you start doing your own budget, I know sometimes it's one of those things that you just push over. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I would definitely encourage you to try and take the bull by the horns and just go through with it. At first, it can take an hour to 2 hours. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but that's where you'll see all of your habits. That's where you'll be able to make informed decision. Which habits do I want to change, or which habits do I get to keep because I'm going to have maybe another budgeting expense lowered with other decisions. So it's really up to you. There's no right or wrong answers. When you make a budget, it's really up to you what you're comfortable with doing. Like I mentioned, if I just take my Timmy's coffee, that's where I was comfortable cutting down. So obviously it's really personal. There's also, if you need other resources or if you need tools to help you out with budgeting, you can go with the FCAC, so Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. I know they just posted a new budgeting tool and it's super interesting. Also, they have, with Canada Revenue Agency, you can definitely look into other plans that they can help you with. Like, and then of course in Canada, there's Canada Emergency Response Benefit. I know they have special qualifications, or you can definitely go on the website and look into it to see if you actually can benefit from that. Another one I thought, another trick I actually found out, it's with the Ministry of Education in Ontario. They offer a one-time $200 benefit when you have young kids that are homeschooling. So you can go on Ministry of Finance of Ontario's website and look into it. And I don't know, I would encourage you to look into your own province if you are not from Ontario to see if they have similar benefits. We mentioned food banks. Of course, there are in your areas. Also, I've heard, I don't know if anyone else heard, but all the farms are actually trying to work together. And in our area anyways, they are creating local produce baskets at a low cost. So they can also promote their farms, but as well as helping others. So that was a really, really great initiative, and I'm hoping that there's going to be more across Canada. I would like also to share that during stressful times, we need to take care of our mental health. It's good to share with a professional, such as a crisis line. I know all the province has crisis lines, to keep and maintain a lower stress level. So it's a little bit easier. And by reaching out and establishing your plan for budgeting and keep a good mental health, it will definitely help you reduce stress and anxiety. That will also enable you, to keep a good look on your budget. To help you build your plan, okay, that's always the tool we need. I have a few free budgeting tools. I know on our website, I'll put them in the chatting box if it's okay. Okay, perfect. I'll put all of these links that you can use, such as the FCAC, sorry, I mentioned earlier. And we do have on our website a free Excel spreadsheet that you can download multiple times and that you can adjust to your liking. Throughout this time period, we did also put referrals during this COVID-19 situation. So I'll make sure to send you the right one with all the resources that you can look into. And of course, you can download that budget tool as much as you want. Also, being in this area where we have mobiles and tablets and iPads, we also have a lot of applications for our online banking. They also, most of them provide a budgeting tool so that you can use. So you go on your app, you can maybe look into helping or tools, and they will actually separate all of your different expense category, and you can have a quick idea of where your habits are. Of course, the hard part is online accessibility to online shopping. I'm actually a little bit of a fan. So I'm trying to be very careful. And on my Facebook, I actually always go and delete all the ads. So just to make sure I won't tempt myself. Okay, I am a human being. It's not because I give those workshops that I'm 100%, how can we say, on track. So we do all have our little habits to work with. So please don't feel free to reach out to friends, to family to help you out with your budgeting skills. Budgeting tools I'll put on the chat box. And of course, if there's anything else, anyone in the Ottawa area are more than welcome to contact the EBO Financial Education Center. And I'm just going to be really hoping that you can find all of these resources around your areas. Any questions?
Hey, thank you so much, Marie-Claude. Before opening for the plenary, a friendly reminder, please do use a headset if you have one. If you would like to speak, the participants icon at the bottom of your screen has a blue hand that you can raise and lower, and you can post any helpful links, comments, experiences, or questions in the chat box. So let's open for discussion. Don't be shy.
I might just ask that, wondering if EBO in its list of resources has a summary of all of the different personal, don't know if it's resources, but maybe opportunities that are being provided right now by governments, everything from, well, the rent side of things, I think, is just for businesses, but there's so much that's coming out. It's a little bit confusing even for us to stay on top of, and it's sort of half business and half personal. Is there a kind of a user-friendly summary list of all of these?
With the budgeting tool I'll be providing, that's what we tried to do. So with every expense categories or even income categories, we tried to put the right resources for you to be able to, like you mentioned, be very quick and easy, because I know there are many things out there. So yeah, so that's what we're working on.
And what about, sorry, I just had one quick question. What about online banking for, especially for people that haven't done that before, and all of a sudden here they are at home, they're not going into a bank, they can't sign up. How do they handle this when they have to do all of their financial work online and they maybe have never done that before?
Yes, I understand. I think the advice I would share would be behind your debit cards. There's always a number for like for the service à la clientèle, and they can definitely help you go through these steps. I know also that if you don't have access to a computer or a smartphone or an iPad, you can still use it on the phone. It's still running. I know with Desjardins for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to also in banks if you want to do it only over the phone. It's a little bit longer because you have to listen to all the different menus and pick and choose what you'd like to do. And of course, it's always also with somebody that you trust. So if you have a niece, a nephew, if you have a friend, family member that can go through those steps with you, maybe on Skype meeting, FaceTime, that they can guide you, that would be definitely something I would recommend.
I was also wondering, on that note, I'm really interested to know, Marie, about your experience with the clients that you serve. So there was such a lot of great information about the different resources out there and little tips about what you can do, which I'm sure I'll be referring to again. But, with the families that you work with, how have you adapted during this COVID-19 situation? Have you changed some of the work that you're doing with them? Is there question?
Working with our clients, well, my part is always these online facilitators or workshops. So I'm trying to adapt those two. That's a challenge. Also, my co-workers are trying to do as much as they can. They are still trying to reach out to clients. They are still helping our clients with income tax, past year's income tax, this year's income tax, and also online, not online, but over the phone consultation for budgeting consultation, one-on-one. So we are trying to adapt as much as we can. Of course, it's still a challenge because, like we mentioned, not everybody has access to a laptop, smartphone to be able to send pictures of the documents that they received. For now, we are not doing any one-on-one face-to-face meetings. We're still trying to listen to Ontario's emergency plan. So for now, until May 31st on our part, we have to continue working and trying to find the best ways to reach out. But yes, we do have, we still have those connections.
Great. And there are some, I can see on the chat box, some great resources that are being posted as well. So that will be useful. And one thing, another thought that came to my mind, because we've been working in financial literacy at Families Canada for a while, I know that it is always a topic, even for us, for people like us that we're not that comfortable with. As service providers, you may be comfortable giving advice on many other topics, or you may be trained as a facilitator in, say, a parenting program. But if a parent comes to you with questions on budgets or the financial distress that seems to be really an issue now, what would you, I'm interested to know your thoughts. There may not be a solution, but what would be your thoughts that other service providers it would be useful for them?
With my my colleagues, they are going to look into your situation, because we want to reach out to anybody that is financially vulnerable. So we don't put a specific amount at the end of the line, because sometimes being in trouble, no matter how much you actually earn, it's still something we need to take care of. I know my colleagues have a lot of insights on any programs for low-income families, so they can refer you to those programs or help you actually apply for those resources. As a mom, again, just doing the grocery online really saved a lot of money on that expense in food. Just because I was more careful and because I don't have those temptations. Also, I'm trying to remember everything we actually have as for those tips. Again, expenses are about habits. It's not always about money, but about habits. So you need to know yourself. That's the first thing we try and teach our clients. You need to know yourself, know where your priorities are. We're all different. We all have different priorities, and that's fine. There's no better situation than another one. It's just the way you choose to actually go through your habits and your budget. Again, for more income, we mentioned a lot of different places where you can look into to have those references. And again, resources, it's not always about money, it's about where you can find help. Like we mentioned, food banks, even my mom, maybe your neighbor. Maybe you can share a Wi-Fi connection with a neighbor if you actually live in a building. Maybe you can cook for someone you love if your parents are not able to go out because of their health situation. Like mine, actually, they cannot go out. So sometimes I just cook a little something, even though my mom still brings me lasagna sometimes. Now it's my turn to return the favor, and I go and drop off a little bit of food on her doorstep so she can have a little break for cooking. I'm trying to see what did I change throughout just this experience, but overall, it's really trying to find the habit you want to change or you're ready to change. Like I mentioned, the line is very thin between need and wants. Make sure to reflect. What do I want, or is it a want or a need? And then you can make the informed decision for yourself. Even if it's a want, if you can afford it, why not? So it's really about habits. It's not always about numbers.
And is there any way of actually opening a bank account right now when we're in isolation lockdown?
I would refer everyone to their own financial institution or the financial institution they want to go to. I wouldn't be able to let you know if they did actually came up with a plan to work online. I know that the banks and CAIS are still actually opened for business, but there's just a little bit more rules to follow. I know that I cannot bring my son to any case or banks around my area. It's very strict. When you get in, you have to wash your hands, of course, or at least take a Purell. So I wouldn't want to give a wrong information. I'd definitely refer you to your bank or case nearby and see what are their situation now with COVID.
Great. We have a question from our chat box from Rebecca.
I actually have two questions, so bear with me for a moment. I was wondering, well, first, Marie, Claude, thank you so much for the overview of the kinds of resources that your organization and plenty of others provide to families during this time. My first question was, have you seen a certain increase in demand for certain services due to COVID? Kind of like a surge in certain areas? I'm trying to get a sense of what the most needed supports a lot of families have at this time.
Okay. For us, what's been the more popular service, I should say, is I don't know if you were able to understand or actually just have the information about the income tax. Anybody that didn't do their income tax for 2019, that's not a problem. They will still receive all of their benefits, bonuses until I think it was July. And they pushed back the date to June 15th, if I remember correctly. So you can file a little bit later on, but you won't be penalized. Unfortunately, sometimes, like we mentioned, life being a roller coaster, you're not able to do those income tax forms on time, and you might have a few years back. So we're trying to help all of those clients that has a few years back of income tax because they haven't received any bonuses until they will actually file those income tax. So that's mainly what we're trying to do right now, is reach out to those families, to those couples who has to file past taxes. We can go back to 10 years behind to make sure that they actually can get a little bit of help from government throughout those programs, like Trillium, like Child Benefit. So they never keep it they never keep it for themselves. It's always postponed. As soon as you file your taxes, you'll get all the money you're entitled to, even if it's past years.
That's been phenomenal. And I was thinking, because there's probably a lot of families out there that, life gets busy. They probably haven't filed their income tax, and now would be a time of all times where they might need those additional supports and benefits, especially if they've been laid off or anything. So this is more of an open question as well to other participants. Does anyone know if any of the families that you've been working with or get the sense that they might potentially be eligible for some of those benefits, but you might not know where to turn for those supports to help them, file those taxes and get access to those funds during this time? Are there any other emerging challenges or areas in helping families get access to these supports or services that we're seeing? Just curious what other people's experiences are as well when it comes to this.
For income tax, you can always contact, like we mentioned, the 211 community line. They probably know about all the organizations that can help. I cannot say if they're all free of charge like we are, but at least you get a sense of where to turn to. Of course, for taxes. For budgeting, like I mentioned, you can contact even your financial advisor at your case or bank. Feel free to give them a call. I don't know if you were able to. I've been withdrawing from the news lately because for my mental health, but I don't know if you've heard that all banks and case are helping people to postpone a few payments if you need to. Even with mortgages, car payments, anything that would help you out, having a little bit more liquidity in your pockets, more cash in your pockets. So definitely you can contact them. They will be able to help you out, that's for sure.
Mhm. Thanks.
That's great. So we're winding down a little bit now during our Let's Talk episode. So we have time for another question, or Marie-Claude, if you have any final remarks, that would be welcome as well.
Oh boy. Honestly, just trust yourself, trust your instincts. Please make a plan either for other resources that you can reach to or have your budget plan ready. It will help you out throughout any situation, any other unexpected circumstances. So take this opportunity to start to have a budget, to start trying to work those numbers and look into those habits. And you know what? Don't stop having dreams. Don't stop having projects. Just keep on looking forward, and doing this exercise with budgeting will definitely help you out with many other projects in the future.
Thank you so much. So I just wanted to mention to the plenary as well, we're also looking for your ideas about topics that you would like to focus on in the Let's Talk series. If you have any that you'd like to explore, please do leave your comments in the chat box. So with that, I will now turn it over to our Director of Operations, Zindu, to wrap up.
Thanks, Kate. Thank you so much, Marie-Claude. That was really informational on a personal level, and I'm sure that our callers are also taking notes. These are really, really good tips that can be passed on to the families that we serve. And I'd also like to draw attention to the chat box, where we have a number of really useful links that have been posted by callers from FCAC and from the government. There are a lot of information there. You can save the chat box so that you can copy paste these links and check it out later on by using the three little buttons at the bottom of the chat box to save the chat so that you don't lose any of that. Financial wellness is such an important topic right now, so I'm sure that this has been very useful to everybody. Your thoughts and experiences really help us to shape our work as well in making us more relevant and responsive to this COVID-19 situation especially. So please do leave your thoughts in the chat box like Kate mentioned. And on that note, I'd also like to invite you to participate in the survey. Kate, if you don't mind putting up the link again, if you could participate in that or share it with your network, just copy paste it, because the chat box doesn't allow you to click on it, and it doesn't have that hyperlink. So you'll have to do the extra little step of copy pasting it, but do share it with your colleagues and your network. And as usual, I'd like to say that a recording of this session will be available on YouTube next week. It's on the Families Canada YouTube channel, so you can share that as well, or take a look again if you wish. The next Let's Talk Forum is next Friday, which is the 8th of May at 1 p.m. EDT. Next week's topic is supporting families who have members with disabilities. That's it from us. Thank you so much for participating, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.